I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to a picture-perfect day for baseball in San Antonio, Texas. The Schreiner Mountaineers in town for games 2 and 3 against the host Trinity Tigers. I'm Brian Yanselson, joined again by Cole Isaacson. Cole, we could not ask for a better day to play 2 games of this great game we love.
Yeah, not too hot today, Brian. You expected to get into the 90s around this time of year, but it was nice and cool, light breeze. Going to be a great day for baseball, and we've got 2 good SCAC teams going at it today.
The Trinity Tigers last night really putting it to Schreiner. Mercy rule win 10-0 for Trinity. Cade McGahan, the starter, he went all 7 innings of that shortened game. Shut down this very explosive Schreiner lineup that you see on your screen. It'll be started off today by Tyler Juarez. Gerardo Cardosa batting second at catcher. Batting third, the third baseman, Devin Hooper. The designated hitter batting fourth, Joseph DiCarlo. In right field, Isaiah Hernandez. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Daniel Garza. At shortstop, Chance Goins. Noah Saucedo in there. Batting eighth at second base tonight. And Aiden Warren rounds things out, hitting ninth and playing center field. And a Schreiner offense that is typically very loud will have to get things going against who has become an ace caliber pitcher for the Trinity Tigers, Jackson Tier. You see the numbers, 6-1, 2.60 ERA. It doesn't get much better than Jackson Tier this year.
Jackson Tier loves to fill up the strike zone, loves to challenge hitters, wants to make them beat him. Not going to give them extra, he's not going to give them a base, not going to allow them to walk. Going to make these Schreiner Mountaineers hit, but that's something that they've been known to do all year.
Leadoff hitter, Juarez. Looks at the first pitch, and it's a swinging strike to get things going in the Alamo City. The left fielder, one of only 2 hits yesterday for Schreiner. Tier's second delivery, low and inside, 1-1 the count to start things off. Bit of an adventure for Juarez yesterday in left field defensively. But now at the top of Coach Brisbane's lineup, looks at a breaking ball down for ball 2, 2-1 the count. Tyler Pettit behind the plate, receiving the pitches from Jackson Tier. Here it goes, the 2-1, chopped right back to Tier, grabs it with his bare hand, and the throw gets away from Austin Davison. Davison chases it down, but Juarez over to second base safely. Couldn't quite complete what was about to be a magical play there to start things off.
That's incredible. The fielding from Jackson Tier, you're going to see it here on the replay. He's going to Manny Machado this thing. Barehanded. Makes a good throw. Unfortunately, Austin Davidson, one of the seniors being honored today, not able to quite make the play. But unbelievable fielding by Jackson Tier.
Certainly put a lot of heat on that one, did Tier. Maybe didn't need to put as much. And now Schreiner, a runner in scoring position right away for their best hitter, Cardosa, and he lines it back up the middle through to center field for a base hit. Juarez had to hold at second, but the Mountaineers runners at the corners with nobody out.
It looked like this one might have gotten Tier again. We'll have to see on the replay. Going to go right up the middle, as you said, and I think that's going to nick him. Just on his wrong side. Was on the bare hand side again. Wasn't able to make the play this time. That would have been a tough one to make, and the Schreiner Mountaineers, already 2 base runners. They struggled to get him yesterday. No problem so far now.
A big opportunity early for Devin Hooper and the Mountaineers after a nag on the scoreboard last night. They really want to see a run put up quickly, and a big hack fouled straight into the net by the graduate senior. You might be fooled into thinking yesterday no runs put up on the board, but this Schreiner offense hits over 300 as a team. That's the best mark in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. And here they are getting a quick start. The delivery from Tier misses outside, so the count 1-1 with runners at the corners, nobody out.
This is exactly the start Schreiner hoped for. Only 2 hits yesterday that can be easily snowball into the next day. Not allowing it to happen, though. He's already 2 men on.
Another good swing from Hooper, but he can't quite time it yet. He's behind 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson Tier loves filling up the zone with strikes, a contact pitcher. He would gladly take 2 outs with a ground ball here in exchange for that run. The 1-2 from Tier, just outside. Ball 2, says the home plate umpire. So the 2-ball, 2-strike count now for Hooper.
We know Jackson Tier, similar to Cade McGahan, can raise and lower the level of his breaking ball, trying to locate it on the outside part of the zone. We'll see if he does something similar on this 2-2 pitch.
Keeping an eye on the runner. Now the 2-2 upstairs for ball 3. Hooper draws a full count. They are making Jackson work in this first inning. Tier coming off an outing against the Southwestern Pirates. Did well as he has done all year long, but in some trouble here early. The 3-2 check swing. He went around, says the home plate umpire. A big slider down and away. Gets Tier the K.
We talked about it, his ability to move that breaking ball. Had it on the outside part of the zone. Looked like it was going to go there again, but it's just going to get out of the way. Untouchable, and strike 3.
Now the cleanup hitter, DeCarlo. Still runners at the corners. One away, line to second. Harris, the catch, and a double play. That's a way to get out of an inning. Colt Harris catches it in the air and snaps it right back to Austin Davison. And just like that, Tier out of the first.
Situational awareness from Colt Harris. Understanding that runner's already has a big lead, able to get him at first base because he has to go back. And a sneaky double play turned by Trinity, a very important one as there was a runner at third.
So a hit, an error, but no runs across for the Schreiner Mountaineers. After this break, Tigers coming to bat. Jackson Tier pitching around some trouble in the first, and now this starting 9 will look to give him some support. This lineup full of seniors today. The senior Ezra Gore leading things off. Jack Peterson in the second hole today in center field. Senior catcher Tyler Pettit batting third. Ty Preston in left field back in that cleanup spot today. Colt Harris, you just saw him turn the double play at second base batting fifth. Hunter Nevels in right field batting sixth. The senior Austin Davison at first base batting seventh. Another senior shortstop Michael Montreza batting eighth. And the third baseman Christian Holloway batting ninth at third. Ezra Gore, designated hitter today. We've seen him roam the outfield. We've seen him roam the gridiron with the Trinity Tigers, a two-sport athlete. One of 8 seniors being honored today, so make sure to stay tuned all day long for our highlights of these incredible seniors. The first pitch from Cardenas, a ball away. Gore ahead 1-0 on the starting pitcher, Brandon Cardenas for the Schreiner Mountaineers. Cardenas' second pitch, a strike, 1-1 the count. We mentioned all those seniors for Trinity, and they face a freshman in the form of Cardenas. First year's delivery, a line drive right back where it came from. Base hit for Ezra Gore to start things off for Trinity.
Good start for the Tigers. Ezra Gore finding a way to get on base. Did so a lot yesterday, but mostly by way of the walk. This time sees the pitch he wants and makes no mistakes. Just going to take it and take his base with it.
Now it's up to Jack Peterson batting second. This is the highest we've seen him in the lineup this year, and he squares around a bunt. Gore not going anywhere. Ball 1. You cannot come up with a faster duo at the top of a lineup than Ezra Gore and Jack Peterson. Coach Tim Scannell going with this combo, and Cardenas already having to think a whole lot about what to do.
Yeah, we saw the pressure that Jack Peterson put on Schreiner yesterday. A gorgeous bunt he laid down.
Here goes another one. Cardenas has to field it. The throw on to first in time for the out. Gore does move over to second, so sacrifice bunt accomplished by Jack Peterson.
Yeah, we know Jack Peterson loves the bunt. Did so yesterday, caused a lot of chaos for Schreiner. This time they're able to handle it really well. Pitcher able to field his position, make the play, but Jack Peterson able to do his job and move Ezragor to second.
One away in the bottom of the first, a scoreless game. Tyler Pettit looking to change that. He had an RBI double last night, and he has a runner at second in the form of Ezragor. Awaiting the first pitch from Cardenas. A ball outside. Pettit a couple of home runs here on Tiger Network this year. Had 11 a year ago. A power hitting catcher. In his 6th year of playing collegiate baseball, 4 of them have been here with the Tigers. Looks at a close one, goes against him for strike one, 1-1 the count. Big crowd on hand today. All these seniors having family in town. They were honored just before this game. Being handed flowers by head coach Tim Scannell and pitching coach Dave Smith. Here, Pettit trying to get some flowers on the field. The bobble at short, but a nice recovery and a great pick. Make sure that's the second out of the inning. Goins, after the initial struggle, gets Pettit for the second out. Gore does move over, but 2 away now in the inning.
You said it, Brian. Great recovery. Kind of the fadeaway throw, but the great pick at first base. Executed really well despite the initial bobble.
You have to think if Schreiner is going to pull off an upset today in this doubleheader, the defense has to improve. It did not do them any favors yesterday, and Preston, one of the main beneficiaries of that with the bases loaded last night. Just a little pop fly to left. It did have some carry on it, and it spun the left fielder around, ultimately dropping the ball, letting 2 runs come across. Here, Preston trying to come through with a runner on third, 2 away, fouls it. Looks to be out of play, but they'll give it a chase well into the Tiger bullpen.
And we talked about the Schreiner defense. It was a 10-0 win for Trinity, but Schreiner a little bit has to feel like they gave that game away, allowing several unearned runs to come across the plate. And you said Ty Preston, the beneficiary of one of those errors.
1-1 on the way to Preston. Misses high and away, 4-2.
But at the same time, you would have to think that's going to give Schreiner some confidence, understanding that they were in that game until they made some errors to let Trinity get away.
Catcher Cardoza ready with the sign. Now Cardenas delivers a 2-1, make it 3-1. Cleanup hitter awfully patient here, just like he was yesterday, drawing 2 walks. He did see that 5-game hit streak snapped, but he reached base with those free passes. Wouldn't say no to one here, awaiting the 3-1 from the starter. And he thought it was ball 4, was getting ready to toss that bat, but it's a full count with 2 away and a runner at third.
Right on that outside part of the plate, Ty Preston did not like the call. But it will bring it to a full count.
Had to wait for that one, sends it to left field, another experience for Juarez. This time he passes the test. Cardenas strands a runner at third in the first inning. We have a scoreless game headed to the top of the second. Both teams with a chance to score in the first, but the pitchers get out of their respective jams, and we find ourselves in the top of the second. Schreiner and Trinity tied at 0. Jackson Tier a week ago pitching up in Georgetown against the Southwestern Pirates. Those Pirates currently in first place of the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. But as he has done all year, Tier giving the Tigers a solid outing, 5 2/3. Allowed 6 hits, but just 1 run. Did not walk a batter, which is what we're used to. He starts this inning off with ball 1 to Isaiah Hernandez. Tier was then replaced by Joseph Chavana, who we would assume we will see at some point today out of the bullpen. Looper from Tier, grounder to Holloway over at third. Clean throw for the first out of the inning. That game, though, Cole, not going the way the Tigers wanted it. 2-2 heading into the 10th inning. Tigers score 2 runs in the top of the 10th, feeling good, but then the Pirates striking back for 3 to win it on a walk-off.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for Trinity, but they were in all of those games, losing 2-1 prior to that, then losing that one in extra innings. So they stuck with the top team in the conference. Even though they couldn't get the job done, that's got to give them some confidence that they're right there with Southwestern.
First pitch to Daniel Garza, outside for ball 1. It's been a really interesting year in the conference when it comes to the baseball schedule. 1-0 from Tier becomes 2-0. Southwestern just continues to run away with that first place seed. 11-2. Trinity at 12-4, tied with Texas Lutheran. They have 4 losses, although 11 wins so far. So a half-game lead for Trinity as Tier loops in a breaking ball. That 4th spot, Cole, very interesting. Up for grabs right now. Centenary and St. Thomas, every game going to count to see who gets that final spot in Cleburne.
Those are 2 teams that made the conference tournament last season. One of them, it would seem, are not going to. But how about Texas Lutheran, the turnaround there? They were below 500 when we went to see them in Seguin. And everything just turned around since then.
3-1, fouled away to the Schreiner bullpen. That was an offense we got to see with our very own eyes. Gave Jackson Tier some trouble, scoring 5 runs up in Seguin. And they have battled back from a tough start to put themselves right with Trinity. The 3-2 on the way from Tier. Beautiful pitch. Freezes the hitter, and that's K for Jackson Tier.
Going to put it right on that inside edge. And you said it. It's going to freeze him. Not what he is expecting. Doesn't know what to do with it. Ends up just taking it and hoping for the best. Did not get what he wanted.
Chance Goins up with 2 outs. Nobody on in the top of the second. He looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. Schreiner currently at 4 wins, 12 losses in the conference. They are mathematically still in the race for that 4th spot. It'll take quite a run as Goins, another grounder to third. Holloway fires it, and the pick unable to be collected. Davison did all he could. Gave it a little hockey block there at the end. But again, Schreiner reaches on the infield attempt.
Yeah, tough play to be made at first. We're going to see it here. Yeah, it goes down to a knee. Nearly a butterfly, like you would in hockey. Just not able to collect it. So Jackson Tier, you're going to have to work around that. But he did so in the first inning. We'll see what he can do here.
First pitch swinging. Bloop single. Not a single because Ty Preston is right there. Looked like that one might drop in. But the Tigers work around that 2-out infield single. And they'll head to the bottom of the second, still scoreless in San Antonio. Number 2, Colt Harris leading off inning number 2 for the Tigers. First pitch from Cardenas, a strike on the outside corner. Harris trying his best to wait on the breaking ball, but a pop fly to the second baseman. He has it easily for out number 1.
Schreiner, good defensive communication there, right in between first and second base. Second baseman able to call off the first baseman there. But Colt Harris, you see the frustration. Similar in game 1 when he had a similar result as he flew out in that same area of the field.
Hunter Neville's now the man at the plate. He looks at one low and away. We are already seeing what head coach Ryan Brisbane described of his starting pitcher, Brandon Cardenas. Hunter Neville's lines one foul towards his own bullpen. Cardenas just a first year, and his head coach saying he's a competitor that keeps guys off balance by really mixing his pitches, and really the fly ball from Preston and that pop fly from Colt Harris exemplifying that. They just weren't able to wait long enough to get a great swing on that breaking ball. And he goes with it again. This time it's up and away. 2-1 the count in favor of Hunter Neville's. Can always be difficult to face a pitcher like this who doesn't throw a whole lot of straight stuff. You have to be really patient, and so far Hunter Neville's has been a 3-1 count.
Yeah, and patient approaches are going to be important today. We saw them a lot yesterday. Ezra Gore working 3 walks.
Cardenas challenges Neville's with a fastball. 3-2 now.
That patience going to have to continue today for Trinity to have success.
Full count delivery from Cardenas goes with the off speed, and it's fouled away. Last appearance for Cardenas wasn't as pretty as he had hoped. 2 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs against the Centenary Gents, but only 3 of those runs were earned. Looking for some better defense today to help out his pitching effort. The 3-2 again. Neville's has to go down and get it. Here's a nice play from the third baseman, but the throw gets away. Spoke too soon. Hunter Neville's will make it safely into second. And the air is biting Schreiner again here in the second inning.
Well, you're right, Brian. It was a great play. Great defensive play, great pick, but you just got to complete the second part, which is going to be the throw. You're going to see here on the replay the situation that he's going to be put in. Good job by Hunter Neville's going down and getting that ball. Yeah, just doesn't make the throw. Looked like he had time. But that's why you have the good 90. You want to rush that throw. And you never know. You might get the error just like Hunter Neville's did there.
Runner in scoring position now with 1 away for Austin Davison. He takes strike 1. We saw Davison last night, and he was not wearing batting gloves. Yet here he is today. He's wearing batting gloves. So already 2 days, 2 different looks for the senior. Park City, Utah native. Behind 0-1, now 0-2 after that big swing. Both his parents in town to celebrate him. And we're getting a look at what he's done to get in the lineup. He's playing first base today, even though he came up as a catcher. Behind 0-2, and he chases for strike 3. Cardenas, a nice bounce back for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, hard to blame Austin Davidson for wanting that one. That is a great slider. Looks like it's going to be in the zone towards the top, but it's going to end up nowhere near a place where he can hit it. Great 2-strike pitch.
Now great to see the super senior Michael Montreza. Feeling better and back in the lineup today. Has 2 outs and a runner on second. He sees a breaking ball up and in for strike 1. Michael Montreza, among batters who qualify with enough at-bats in games played, the leading hitter for the Tigers at .314 average. It's been almost a quiet and a sneaky .314 because so much of what he does is just get hit after hit. They're mostly singles, hasn't had a ton of extra bases this year, just a couple of home runs, but it's gotten the job done as the starting shortstop has given Scannell what he wants. Looking for a 1-1 pitch to hit. Neville's over there at second with 2 away. Cardenas looking at him, now delivering, and Montreza right back through. That's going to get to center field, a base hit. Neville's coming around to score, and the senior utilizes a senior day RBI opportunity.
Like we've seen so many times today, going to go right up the middle. Hard to blame him for getting out of the way there. That was a bullet off the bat of Montreza. And that's going to give the Tigers a 1-0 lead as Austin Davidson, as Hunter Nevels knows what to do, cruises easily into home.
And for Cárdenas, we mentioned 3 of those runs last week were earned. 2 of them were unearned. That will go down as an unearned run since Nevels got on thanks to the throwing error from the third baseman. Holloway will look to add on a little bit. Montreza over there at first has seen limited success in trying to steal bases, but here Holloway towards second. Quick out to the shortstop coming in to cover the bag, and that'll be it. But the Tigers take a 1-0 lead in the second as we head to the top of the third. Jackson Tier has a lead to work with now, 1-0 the advantage thanks to a Michael Montreza RBI single. He'll look to deal with the number 9 hitter before the lineup turns over. Schreiner still scoreless in this series. 7 innings yesterday, 2 so far today. And with the way Jackson Tier pitches, we've seen him shut out teams before. That incredibly memorable no-hitter against Austin College. We got to cover it here on Tiger Network as he fires in a strike to start things off against Warren. Second pitch to Warren, very much like the first, 0-2, the advantage for Jackson Tier. And we've highlighted all weekend long, and we'll continue to do so, the seniors, because it is senior day, and you got to reflect on who's leaving. As a punch over to short, excellent play, but not going to be in time. Very difficult to get the speedy Warren, but a heck of an effort by Montreza will lead to an infield single. But it's also important, I think, that we talk about Tier being just a sophomore, meaning he has at least 2 more years to do what he's been doing at Trinity.
Well, this whole pitching staff, very young. Cade McGahan and Jack Schmidt, the only 2 strongholds that are going to be leaving. So pitching staff, the stats just show the improvement.
Bunt rolls foul here. Juarez trying to catch the Trinity defense napping, but he'll have to head back to the batter's box.
So the stats just show the improvement, and they're just going to be there for the long haul. So there's a chance that these arms are going to be even better as they develop over the summer.
Yeah, it's something pitching coach Dave Smith talked to us about, how excited he is. There's so much still to play for this year, and he didn't want to get too far ahead of himself, but there's just so much hope and excitement about what this pitching staff has been able to do in turning their numbers around and knowing that they're going to be able to build that momentum into 2024.
And Coach Scannell, when we were talking to him, he stood on the pitcher's mound and he pointed down and said, "We believe in what we have here." There's a lot of confidence in this staff that they can really build something around them.
Tier misses on the 0-1. Juarez still showing like he wants to bunt. Runner at first, nobody out in the top of the third. Schreiner trying to manufacture that first run of the weekend. Tier making sure to check on first. This is something he does so well. Keeping runners on, working those pickoff moves, fielding his position. Juarez showing bunt early on. This time he does get it into fair play. Pettit will go to first. Difficult to see the runner, but Davison does a nice job making the catch. Runner does move along to second, though, so a sacrifice bunt executed by Schreiner.
Well, executed by Schreiner, but executed well defensively by Trinity. We saw how a bunt can make things go haywire yesterday. The senior catcher to the senior first baseman. Going to calmly get the out. Runner gets to second, though, so Schreiner does their job.
And the 444 man himself up to bat with an RBI opportunity. He already lined a single up the middle his first time up. He'll have to wait a second, though. The most feared man in this Schreiner lineup, Gerardo Cardoza. The best hitter in the conference average-wise and one of the best in the country. It has been an insanely hot start for him. Looking to pull Schreiner even here against Jackson Tier. Lays off the first one in the turf, ball one. Ever since Cardoza transferred from Coastal Bend College, he has been a .380 hitter with the Mountaineers. And he's a senior now, so he's been around. Awaiting the 1-0. Now 1-1 after that looper.
Definitely a situation where Schreiner wants Cardoza hitting. Man on second, opportunity to tie this game with only one out.
Pettit setting up inside. Tier checking on the runner at second. In there safely. Coach Brisbane for Schreiner saying, of course, we want the pitching to be better, and they have a staff ERA over 6, so that has been the main concern. But as good as this offense has been average-wise, they haven't done as well in situations like this. Cardoza, a weak rounder to Davison, toss over to Tier, out number 2. So Cardoza can't drive him in. He does move him over, but now 2 away in the third.
Defended well. You want to do the little things right, and that's covering your bases. Jackson Tier going to do this. Instinctively going to cover first base. Gets there in plenty of time. However, Cardoza does move the runner to third.
But for Schreiner, 10 of their 19 losses, so more than half, have been fewer than 4 runs. They just need to start coming through in situations like these. Hooper, the 3-hole hitter, trying to change the narrative a bit, looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. It is this part of the lineup, Cardoza, Hooper, DeCarlo after him, that need to produce if the Mountaineers want to beat Trinity today. Up the middle, another barehand attempt. Montreza has to charge instead. His throw in time to get the third out. So the Trinity defense sparkling early. After a couple of errors, they have improved and helped Tier, who almost got there. Almost did another Machado, in your opinion.
Almost. Just a little far away, but it's almost a good thing that he barely touched that, because if you get too much on it and don't make the play, you can tip it away from your shortstop. Maybe got a finger on it, not enough to alter the ball's trajectory, and Montreza able to make the play.
So we're seeing what we're used to from Jackson Tier. Runners on, lots of contact, but at the end of the day, no runs across. Trinity up 1-0 after 2.5. (1-0) Trinity lead in the bottom of the third. Ezra Gore, already a base hit today. He'll look to start things off in the third the same way. Punches that average back over 300. Looking to bunt, but he pulls it back after a strike 1.
We've seen these Trinity hitters leading off, not afraid to bunt. 1 through 9, they've all shown the ability to do it.
Ezra takes ball 1. Even count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardenas still out there for the Mountaineers, looking to get some length out of him after Fidel Mendez did not go as long as they had planned. 2-1 now to the leadoff hitter.
This one? It's so fucking long, though.
Ezra Gore lines it to short. Some more trouble on the initial gather, but he recovers like he did the first time for the first out of the inning. So Goins having a little trouble with the Trinity turf, but this time able to get the out.
Yeah, able to respond. Had a bobble, but a dart there. Collects it a little late, actually. And you know, Ezra Gore, one of the faster players on this team, but made the throw that was needed to get him out.
Jack Peterson now at the plate. One away, nobody on. Ball one to Peterson. There's a lot of things we can say about Jack Peterson. It's been an excellent year for him. But if you've been out here at Trinity's baseball field early before a game, you've noticed what's maybe become a new characteristic for him, and that's a very fatherly figure on the field. Head coach Jeremy Urban of the football team and assistant coach Paul Mahalik have been bringing their sons out to the field and enjoy all the scenery and get to play with the guys, and no one is with those kids more than Jack Peterson, and he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, they're usually out there in center field with them, trying to make some catches. Jack Peterson always helping them out, showing them the ways of his position. He does such a great job with them.
He's ahead in the count. 3 balls, 1 strike here. But sometimes you look out there at center field and you're like, gosh, there's 5 Jack Petersons out there because they're just mimicking everything the center fielder does. Here, the center fielder waves at that one to bring the count full. Cloud over our field for just a moment on what's been a sunny day. 3-2, fouled straight back.
But who knows, if those kids grow up and play for the Trinity Tigers, for the baseball team, and they go win a World Series. I don't know. I think Jack Peterson deserves a lot of the credit.
Another foul tip off the bat of Peterson, and who knows, since they're Coach Urban and Coach Mahalik's sons, maybe they'll pull an Ezra Gore and play football and baseball here at Trinity.
Maybe. I'm sure Coach Scannell's going to teach him a thing or two, but Jack Peterson taught him everything they know.
Awaiting another 3-2 delivery. He'll take it for ball 4, and the track meet begins now. Peterson on first with the walk.
Yes, Brian, and we know he's not going to be there for very long. 100% in stealing. Of course, if he doesn't get it, I'll admit it. It's my fault because I said it. I'm going to take the blame on that one.
Yesterday, he had an opportunity. He was at first. He was the only runner on, but he did not go off of the lefty pitcher. Asked him about it, and he said it was just a combination of things. Couldn't get the best read, and he said the pitcher, Baird, was actually very quick to home as a left-handed pitcher. So with a 7-0 lead, didn't feel the need to push it. But just in the 3rd inning here, Trinity up 1. Expect Peterson to try to go with Pettit at the plate. Here's a check on Peterson.
Yeah, I think he was listening, Brian. Expect him to go, throw to first.
He has a big lead over there, another check. If we were in Major League Baseball, that would be the 2nd disengagement.
Yep, no more. Got to get him the next time. It is not the world we live in right now, though.
We'll see if Peterson has timed it up. Not going anywhere. Pettit takes strike 1. It's really neat now to see Peterson at the top of the lineup because we've talked about how well he's done at the bottom and turning it back over for the Tigers. But when he gets on ahead of the big bats like Pettit and Preston and Harris, causing all sorts of trouble, maybe giving them better pitches to hit. Here, a 2-1 count now for the catcher.
Well, he was still able to do that at the bottom of the lineup. You set it up for the top of the order. But you said it by putting it in a second. Tyler Pettit now with a good opportunity. We know Peterson would probably want to go to second base here, and Pettit can just bring him in from there.
There goes Peterson, a looping breaking ball. Peterson safe at second. 20 for 20 now for the center fielder.
Hits the big 2-0. Going to go once this pitch is thrown. Gets a breaking ball. Going to take a little longer to get there. And in there in plenty of time. Still touching the bag. Very safe is Jack Peterson.
Now, just like that, an RBI opportunity for Pettit. The 2-2 count to him. Chops it up the middle. It'll get through to center field for a base hit. Peterson will score easily from second. And that's how you manufacture the 2nd run of the game.
Exactly the situation Tim Scannell was probably trying to set up. Jack Peterson finding a way to get on. Going to take second base himself. And then a bat like Tyler Pettit able to just get a single. And Peterson able to score with ease. Gives Trinity the 2-0 lead.
I have to say that 1-2 punch of Gore and Peterson is very intriguing for the Trinity Tigers. Preston lays down a bunt on a pitch that almost hit him. An acrobatic throw will get him out. Excellent play by Cardenas for what could have been an easy bunt single for Preston, who has kind of become the bunt master. Look at where this pitch is. He had to back up, put the bat on it, and he nearly beat it out, but instead, 2 away. Runner is at second now.
Very impressive bunt, but more importantly, it does its job. Tyler Pettit at second base and Colt Harris with an RBI opportunity.
Popped up to the right side of the infield his first time, trying to check his swing, and it looks like he does. 1-0. Junior from Katy, Texas, Colt Harris. Very happy lately about the Baltimore Orioles starting 12-7 in second place of the American League East. Looks at a breaking ball. 1-1 the count. I'm sure Harris acknowledges that the Orioles would be in first place of every other division in the American League, but for some reason they're placed in the toughest division in baseball. Here he grounds it to second. Saucedo has it, and he'll nearly throw it away, but the first baseman Garza had it. So that'll do it in the third. Tigers add a run thanks to the Pettit RBI single. It is 2-0 Trinity headed to the fourth. Two-zero now the lead for the Tigers. Remains a bit overcast, but nothing but brightness ahead for Jackson Tier. Continues to shut down this Schreiner offense. Joseph DiCarlo looks at ball one low and away. DiCarlo 5 homers on the year after none last season. His head coach saying the power was always there. He just wasn't hitting it out of the ballpark. Here he gives it a good ride to right field. Nearly bounces over the head of Hunter Nevels, but it will be a base hit for DiCarlo.
Yeah, this one's just going to fall down in fair territory. Couldn't quite get a good look at that, but Hunter Nevels able to do the right thing, read the hop, and hold it to a single, even though it got pretty far back.
One of the better swings we've seen from Schreiner this weekend, a leadoff single. Now Isaiah Hernandez up to bat. Loops in a breaking ball, does Tier to get ahead. Senior from El Paso, Texas. Hernandez, one of the heavy hitters in this lineup. Can't catch up to that one, though. 0-2 now. A Schreiner team that is historically so good offensively. Still looking to get on the board this weekend. Pettit setting up well outside. Tier gets it there, but not chasing there. Lots of Schreiner fans in attendance as well. We have a big senior day crowd for Trinity, but Kerrville just about an hour from here along I-10 on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. A nice drive from the hill country, but a nice pitch from Tier gets a strikeout of Hernandez.
Good job by Tier. We know he likes to attack the zone, going to do so there. Able to get the swing and miss. And we talk about how many pitches Tier can throw, able to really change it up from pitch to pitch. Hitters really don't know what they're expecting when they're going against Jackson Tier.
First pitch, chopper, another tough play for Tier. Uses the glove this time and fires, but a collision at first. What's going to be the call? Davison gets up. Garza still on the ground. We'll get a look at the replay. Hope Garza's okay here. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see what happened here, Brian. First of all, a great job by Jackson Tier. We talked about fielding his position, going to get this, knows he has to throw a dart to get it there. And looks like, first of all, we hope everyone's okay. But you also have to assess, was he out or not?
The umpire is talking about it right now. Based on that look, Davison never actually touched him with the glove, which is where the ball ended up.
And he left the bag. So he leaves the bag here. And you're right, Brian. Never touches him with the glove.
The umpires deliberating now decide he is safe.
I think that is the right call.
I agree. Schreiner agrees as well. One away in the fourth. They have runners on first and second. Doesn't take a whole lot. That was a ball that was hit about 30 feet from home, but it gets them with their best opportunity yet. Tim Scannell, though, having a conversation now with the umpires. He does not agree with that call.
Well, obviously a close play. I'm assuming both sides think that it should go their way. But it looks like came off the bag, didn't touch him with the glove. They ran into each other. So they collide, but it didn't touch the glove.
He gives his 2 cents, but the umpires not changing their minds. Still runners at first and second, one away in the top of the fourth, and it'll be Chance Goins with the chance to bring Schreiner closer. One of the local kids on this roster, Judson High School, a Rocket on the Mountaineer roster now, and he has been there for a while. Looking to cash in on Tier, shows bunt, but pulls it back as that's ball one. Really, when you loop Devin Hooper and Chance Goins together, as Coach Brisbane did in my conversation with him, saying that they have just been everything to this program. The amount of time and effort that they've put in as fifth-year seniors. Still a few games left in their career, and Goins gives this one a charge. Deep to left center field, not gonna make the catch is Peterson. One run in for Schreiner, arm waving around now, a stop sign. An RBI double for Chance Goins, and the Mountaineers finally on the scoreboard with a chance for more.
We talked about the Schreiner lineup having to cash in when they have these opportunities. Going to get a lot of this one. Just a little too far for Jack Peterson, doing everything he can to get that ball. Good job by Ty Preston coming in and recovering and stopping that second runner from getting in.
Absolutely, because Garza had to hold up at first in case the catch was made, so he could not quite make it home. But there are two runners in scoring position for Schreiner. Saucedo, the second baseman, looks at ball one outside. It's one of those things, we kind of saw it in the Austin College series earlier this year on Tiger Network. Kangaroos go 2 games without scoring a run. When they finally did in that third game, they scored several, kind of opening the floodgates a bit. A chopper foul will bring the count to 1-1. But just mentally, you have to imagine for Schreiner, seeing a 1 on the board gives them the hope that that won't be the only one.
Yeah, they're hanging around this game. They hung around yesterday, but let it get away from them around this point. And if things are starting to turn their way, you can only assume that their confidence is going to increase as that continues to happen.
Tier darts in a fastball, 4-2, 1-2 to Saucedo. Infield playing back with 1 away. Schreiner looking for a ball in play. Tier looking for a K. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt. Tyler Pettit holds on to it, and a big second out for Tier.
The foul tip makes an appearance. I don't know that we've seen it for strike 3 yet. You're going to see Tyler Pettit. We know he's very good at his position. That's a harder thing than it would seem. Looked like that ball tipped down. Pettit able to read it and catch it for what turns out to be strike 3.
And here comes perhaps the hottest Schreiner hitter. 6 for his last 13, Aiden Warren. Already a base hit this afternoon. A hit would likely drive into and put Schreiner on top. Tier trying to keep them down. A pivotal moment early in this game. Curveball, swing and a miss. Even count now. This is where we've seen Jackson Tier really buckle up and get these big outs. In the turf, ball 2. Warren hitting just .216 last year. And you can see the remarkable turnaround up to .345. Still just a junior. Ahead in the count 2-1. Breaking ball just misses up. A 3-1 advantage now for number 12.
If Jackson Tier can get out of this and Trinity is able to win this game close, you're going to look at this jam as a turning point in the game.
Count driven full. Warren put a good hack to it, but couldn't keep it in play. So here we go. A full count. 2 runners in scoring position. Garza at third. Goins at second. Schreiner already putting one across in the 4th. Warren trying to make it 2 or 3. Tier ready. And he fires 3-2. Fouled straight back.
Great job by Warren to even touch this. Lowers the curveball. Usually going to swing over top of that. Saw it coming though. Able to go down and stay alive.
Tier staring into Pettit, ready with the pitch. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Tier strands 2 in scoring position. And the Tigers stay on top 2-1, headed to the bottom of the 4th. Mountaineers creep back with a run in the 4th, but Tier a big strikeout to keep the Tigers on top. Now the offense looking to build on this advantage. A strike to Hunter Nevels. That momentum we talked about for the Schreiner offense could lead to Cardenas on the mound. Seeing his offense put up a little bit of support encourages him to keep it going and keep the Tigers down in this inning.
Got to hold the deficit. The offense slowly creeping back, but if Trinity has a big inning, it could get away from them.
Nevels loops it to left. Right there is Juarez for the first out of the inning. So Nevels retired quickly. 1 away in the bottom of the 4th.
When your bats are feeling it, you want to get them out there as soon as possible. And the best way to do that is quick outs. Only takes 2 pitches to get Hunter Nevels. As you're going to see on the replay, the breaking ball. Almost looked like he was a little late on it, which is interesting because that's one of the slower pitches. But
breaking ball up and in. Ball 1 to Davison.
Either way, a quick out, exactly what you want when the bats are starting to get it going.
Right back to the well, now 1-1. Can't quite keep it in play there. Now 1-2 for Davison, who got his first career hit back on March 11th of 2020. That infamous game against DeSales that was the last on campus for about a year when COVID struck. It's been quite the journey for Davison, but today another strikeout here, swinging for the second time. He'll head back to the dugout, and Cardenas really looking like he's gained some swagger since that rough start.
Yeah, we talked about the multiple pitches that he can throw. Uses that breaking ball low on Austin Davidson. And you're right, Brian, you're seeing the confidence.
Montreza looks at strike one. Cardenas working ahead, working quickly, wasting no time getting back on the rubber. Yanks this one a little bit. Catcher has to go get it. 1-1 now.
Well, it's almost like he's pitching with a purpose. You know, the game's close. You got one back. And it's like, okay, we're in this game.
Little tapper. Montreza trying to beat it out. Barehanded play won't be made. Another single for Montreza. We said it. It kind of happens quietly, and this is one of those. It'll go down as a hit, and in the box score, you won't tell a difference or how hard it was hit.
Yeah, Montreza finds the location. Play not able to be made. Would have been a very tough play. Finds a way to get on. Maybe can disrupt some of the rhythm that Cardenas has found.
Inning stays alive for the number 9 hitter, Christian Holloway. 2 away, runner on first. Barely tipped foul by Holloway, who is working hard in BP today. Coach Tim Scannell telling him to really focus in on one spot, get his precise timing down. We'll see if those words of wisdom pay off in this at-bat. Close one, misses upstairs, ball 1. Holloway had a nice opposite field single yesterday. That side of the field open again, and there goes Montreza. Pitches high, the throw to second, in time for the out. Cardoza continues to show off his cannon behind the plate. He's gotten Gore out, and now Montreza retired for the first time this year.
Yeah, you said it. Got Ezra Gore yesterday. One of the toughest players on this lineup to get out when they're trying to steal. Montreza also a tough out. Able to show the laser. And it's always important when you can steal outs. The Schreiner defense came to play today.
Montreza had been 4 for 4, now 4 for 5. Trinity up 2-1, headed to the top of the 5th. Leading off for Schreiner in the 5th inning is the leadoff hitter, Tyler Juarez. Schreiner down just 1. First pitch foul towards the first base side. They got one last inning, held down Trinity in the bottom half, now trying to add to their energy shift. Their fans have gotten into it, making a lot of noise. Here, though, continues to blow it past Juarez. His fastball has been on point today. 5 hits allowed, just 1 run, but he does have 5 strikeouts, and like usual, no walks yet. 0-2 the count to Juarez. Goes upstairs, Juarez lays off. Wind picking up a bit in San Antonio. What's that now? The third comebacker to Tier? Put some more heat on it. This time Davison has it for the out. But
Yeah.
even Tier is smiling after that one because he's kind of getting tired of having to do so much exercise out there.
Yeah, I think that was the easiest one he's had. At least he made it look easy. Right into the glove, makes the simple throw. He's been fielding his position very well today.
It is something that he immediately did when arriving on campus, a transfer from Texas A&M Kingsville. Feeling right at home, he is home in San Antonio, Johnson High School product. Got to talk to him here on the broadcast earlier this year and have highlighted his success coming over. His family getting to come to all his games in person. And it has been just about a perfect script. Here, 1-1-2 Cardoza. Now 1-2 after the slider for a strike. Pettit shifting outside, leaks a little back in, but it's too much for Cardoza. He stands there looking at another third strike called, now 6 strikeouts for Jackson Tier.
Jackson Tier really able to work the edges of the zone, does so there. A lot of close calls, but he's able to put the ball right where he wants it. Not seeing a lot of movement out of Pettit's glove today. Jackson Tier hitting his locations.
And even on that last pitch, when it wasn't exactly where he wanted it, it was sharp enough and it confused the hitter enough to lead to the strikeout.
Absolutely.
And look at the pitch count. Almost through 5 innings, only 63 pitches thrown. Jackson Tier just remarkably efficient. Throws strikes, makes the other team beat him. Not afraid to give up some hits if it means putting his defense to work along the way.
And we've seen that today. Schreiner, a lot of base runners, but Jackson Tier's usually been able to find a way to get out of it. Only the 1 run allowed.
Chopper to third. Holloway will have to make a long throw, and it's a beauty. Davison catches the third out of the inning. That's 1-2-3 for Jackson Tier. We're halfway home, game 1. Tigers up 1. Time for the bottom of the 5th. Trinity 2, Schreiner 1. This is game 1 of a doubleheader on tap. The final day at home for the Trinity Tigers this season. Hard to believe it is already that time, but thankfully we've got a long day of baseball still ahead, and Christian Holloway will start this 5th inning. Looks at a strike. Cardenas has really done a nice job today, like he has done all year long for Schreiner. Continues to work swiftly here. Misses outside for ball 1. Cardenas 4-2 this year across 38 innings before this start. A 4.70 ERA. As he loops in a breaking ball to Holloway, 1-2. But it's important to remember, Cárdenas just a first year. Holloway here meets the pitch right where it's at and drives it to the right center field gap. Center fielder loses his cap. Holloway chasing second, and he's in there safely with a double. Holloway smelled two from the minute he hit that, and he got it.
Going to see here on the replay, going to go and get that baseball. Finds the gap, the glow stick. And you said it accurately, smells two. Is just going to go and get that. Keeps his head down, no hesitation, and barely makes it for a lead-off double for the Tigers.
Gore puts down the bunt, tough play, and it won't be made again.
This is exactly the start Trinity wants, able to lay down the bunt.
And scratch that a little bit out of our view, but Cárdenas made the even better play. He didn't go to first, he went to third to get the lead runner, Holloway. And so that is what Schreiner wanted to start the inning.
Absolutely, able to get the lead runner. So now instead of nobody out and runners at the corners, it will be one out with only Ezra Gore at first. And you see Trinity working on this at practice, practicing getting that lead runner when you can. The awareness defensively for Schreiner, able to get Christian Holloway. And as you said, making the even better play. And just as we thought the Tigers were going to have strong momentum from that bunt laid down by Ezra Gore, not so much.
Yeah, tables turning very quickly in this bottom of the fifth. Peterson, first pitch swinging, trying to get it through the hole. And he does. Gore will go from first to third. Peterson a wide turnaround first. Runners at the corners with one away.
Jack Peterson not laying down the bunt like he would normally do. Just going to start swinging, finds the gap, and Ezra Gore. We talk about the speed going back-to-back with Gore and Peterson. Going to go first to third with ease.
Yeah, first and third with one away, and I can almost guarantee that Jack Peterson will steal here.
What do you think the odds are?
I think they're extremely high.
Extremely high.
Not going there. Check swing strike to Pettit. You have Gore at third, second fastest guy on the team. And you've got Peterson at first, the fastest guy on the team, who is 20 for 20 on stolen base attempts. So with runners at the corners, you can cause a little confusion and force the Schreiner defense to make a decision on if they're going to throw to second. If they do, Gore could come on home. If they don't, you have two runners in scoring position. We'll see what the decision is. Pettit awaiting the 0-1. Peterson was about to go. He took about a hop and a step over to second before Cárdenas had to pick off. So I think Peterson is right on the same page as I am.
So are you calling the double steal? Or are you just calling Peterson?
I am calling the fact that Peterson is going to steal second. He took off for the moment and then went back. 1-1 as that one missed outside. All this leads to at the same time is Pettit getting a distracted pitcher on the mound. Looping breaking ball, misses up and in for ball two. Peterson, though, has not gone, so maybe proving me wrong.
I mean, I think he's going to go. I agree with you. You would think.
You would think. You really would. 3 pitches into this at-bat. Still hasn't gone. The 2-1. There goes Peterson. Curveball. Throw from the knees. 21 for 21. I call that blackjack.
Gets magic number 21. You're going to see here on the replay. Gets an incredible jump. He's a third of the way there before the ball's even thrown. And no chance to get number 24. He's got time. He might be 24 for 24 when the season's all said and done.
Maybe by the time the game is done with the pace he's on, and it leaves the catcher Pettit with a 3-1 count, but that looked like an intentional walk from the start. The catcher Cardoza acknowledging that he wanted that one well outside, and the Tigers have the bases loaded with 1 out for the cleanup hitter Ty Preston. I think we've seen this film before.
I think we have, and I don't think Schreiner liked the ending.
Preston, one of the peskiest hitters in this Tiger lineup, does not strike out very often, always tends to put it in play. Takes ball one outside, nowhere to put him.
And I think you see the result of that combination. The chaos creators, Ezra Gore and Jack Peterson.
Preston grounds it to first, and it's past the first baseman. Fair ball. Gore comes in to score. Peterson in to score. Preston into second with a 2 RBI double.
Ty Preston, bases loaded, goes down and gets that breaking ball. And with the speed on the bases, you knew at least 2 were going to come in. I think it was just a matter of if Tyler Pettit was going to come in from first or not. Unable to do so, but exactly the at-bat you were hoping for with the bases loaded, trying to find a way to get one through and bring some runs in.
That one hit Colt Harris on the way home. Bases loaded once again for the Tigers, and now the power hitter Hunter Nevels will get a chance, but he'll have to wait on a pitching visit from Schreiner.
We'll see if this is just a change or a talk. As chaos has been created, it all started. Ezra Gore, Jack Peterson, followed by Tyler Pettit, a batter that deserves all of a pitcher's attention, but you can't give it to him when you have that much speed on the bases. And now bases loaded with 1 out. Trinity adding 2 more runs in this inning.
Yeah, and this has been such a fast-developing inning. Remember, Holloway led off with a double, and then it looked like Schreiner pulled off a good advancement into this inning by getting the out at third on the sacrifice bunt attempt. So Gore was only at first, but then, like you said, the chaos creator himself, Jack Peterson, up to bat. He singled. Gore moved over to third, was able to steal second, and just those chains moving constantly for a Trinity offense that is looking for fluidity. They're looking to pass that baton, and they have passed it well in this inning. Hunter Nevels looking to take charge. First pitch to him, a big swing and a miss. 0-1 the count with the bases loaded.
I think having that much speed on the bases just helps the big hitters, the guys that you really want to show up, the Tyler Pettits of the world. It just makes their job a lot easier.
Don't want to leave another pitch there if you're Cardenas. Nevels nearly right on it. Instead, an 0-2 count, but Nevels a couple of good swings in this at-bat.
You know, we have seen Hunter Nevels do damage with that, hitting .366 on the year, as you see there.
Unable to hold back on the slider outside, though. Cardenas going outside the zone and getting a big-time strikeout. Now 2 away, bases still loaded in the 5th.
Well, when you get into a pitcher's count, you can make a pitch like that untouchable for Hunter Nevels. Either a ball, and you'll do it again, or you get strike 3 with no chance at making contact.
But now it is senior day, and here is the senior, Austin Davison. A chance to break it open. Looks at ball 1 up. He calls himself scrimmage MVP and home run derby champ. Trying to come through in the game here. Up the middle, base hit for Austin Davison. 1 run in, second right behind him. Senior day special for Austin Davison, who is thrown out trying to extend it to second, but he drives in 2 to put Trinity up 6-1.
Yeah, he'll take the results of that. Going to go right up the middle, as we've seen so many times today from both sides. 2 runs are going to score easily. But a good play defensively by Schreiner, as we've seen them first and second in this situation a lot. And we've seen it just get away from them. They let that extra guy get on and load them up. But defensively able to hold it down and stop the bleeding, at least more than it's already bled.
Austin Davison had 4 RBI in his career, spending 4 seasons with the Tigers, doing everything he can to break into the lineup, has dealt with injury after injury. This year, when it looked like he might get a lot of playing time, he actually hurt his finger on a pickoff attempt playing that new first base position. So it's just been a string of bad luck, but we're so happy to see Austin Davison getting this opportunity to shine in front of his parents who are here from Utah, and he puts the Tigers up 5 headed to the 6th.
Yeah, and a really good at-bat, puts it right up the middle. And you want that 2-out RBI. That's what Coach Scannell was begging for this week. Somebody to come up and not worry about how hard they hit the ball, but just find a way to put it in play when runners are in scoring position. Austin Davidson did a great job there.
And now, if you're Jackson Tier, you've maneuvered your way through this dangerous Schreiner lineup full of potential mishaps, and it could have gotten away from him when Schreiner had runners on second and third after they had already scored a run. Now you're up 5 and you feel pretty comfortable with Tier on the mound.
Well, we said it during that inning. If Trinity can find a way to win this game, you're going to look at that jam. Second and third, Jackson Tier finds a way to get out of it with only 1 out at the time. And now in a comfortable 6-1 lead.
He does have the heart of the Schreiner order up 4, 5, 6, DeCarlo, Hernandez, and Garza. But he is much more comfortable with a 5-run lead and continues to throw strikes. If you've been with us on Tiger Network from the start of this season, you know it's been quite the journey in many ways. It's been such a pleasure to bring you the series against the #1 Birmingham Southern Panthers. And it was back then that we met Jackson Tier. And you might remember a conversation we had about something that Jackson Tier really enjoys, even more than the strikeouts, which trying to get another one here. 2-2 though, the count to DeCarlo. We talked about him being a San Antonio native and wanting to test if he really is a true 2-1-0. Puro San Antonio. And as he continues to prove strikeout-wise, he is a true champion. And his answer about his favorite breakfast taco was top tier. Literally. Bill Miller's potato and egg taco, his favorite breakfast taco. And so in honor of his last home start this season, I decided to bring you a potato and egg taco from Bill Miller to try, Cole, since you've never tried it.
I do have it. You can't see me right now, but I'm trying to hold up the foil to my mic as proof. That's that sound. So I'm going to try this taco now.
Don't say we never tried anything fun on Tiger Network.
Absolutely.
As you begin to carve up that taco, Tier continuing to carve this Schreiner lineup. Hernandez, newest one at the plate, already 0 for 2. Struck out once. We are all anxiously awaiting to hear what you think of your first bite, Cole.
Okay, here we go.
That'll be a foul ball, so everyone will have to go back to their places.
You know, that's not bad. That's pretty good.
We need more than not bad. This is the taco.
That's good.
This is Jackson Tier's favorite breakfast taco. This is my favorite breakfast taco. This is any true San Antonian's favorite breakfast taco.
You know, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but eggs were never really my thing. But yeah, it works.
There we go, folks. Tiger Network has sealed the deal. Bill Miller's breakfast tacos, potato and egg specifically, are the best. And hey, if you're listening, Bill Miller's, we would gladly take a sponsorship here on Tiger Network. I mean, we're always open to that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Free tacos?
We always say when basketball scores 100 that we should give out free tacos, and that could be you.
That's good.
Strike 3 called. The home plate umpire rings up Hernandez and Jackson Tier. 2 Ks in this inning, 8 now on the afternoon.
Jackson Tier able to settle it down. Talked about him getting out of that jam, but now continuing to put up zeros. Trying to hold this 5-run lead as I'm going to finish this on air. I always love it when I have an excuse to eat when we're just on air. Normally I have to squeeze it in between innings, but now I can just go. Worked it into the broadcast.
We work what we need to work into this broadcast. We sometimes plan ahead, sometimes we don't plan ahead. There's a lot you can't prepare for, but this one we just needed to. We needed to get it done.
So now that I've tried this,
Garza sends it the other way with some pop, but that'll be the 3rd out of the inning as Neville's range is over for the out. So we will take a break this time to let Cole really enjoy and savor his first Bill Miller's potato and egg taco. But what we're all savoring right now, Jackson Tier's dominance. 5.5 done, Trinity up 6-1. Bottom of the 6th in San Antonio, Trinity up by 5. Montreza looking for hit number 3. He'll head back to the batter's box after the foul ball. Michael Montreza has had one of the more unique journeys of the Trinity seniors. This is technically his 5th year playing collegiate baseball, but it is his 4th playing with the Trinity Tigers. And that is because after his sophomore year here at Trinity, as he takes the 0-1 for strike 2, after his sophomore year, he did really well. He hit over 300, and when COVID cut that season short, he really wanted to give it a chance to make it to Division I. And so he went back home to California, went to a junior college there, Olone College in Fremont, as he swings and misses here. But we'll continue talking about Montreza. He went back home and didn't quite find the success he was looking for, didn't have any offers on the D1 level. And so it was August of the school year. School was about to start, and he had nowhere to go. And he called Coach Scannell, maintained a great relationship with him, and said, Skip, I really need a place to come back. Even if I can't be guaranteed a spot or anything, I just want a place to go. And Coach Scannell helped him get back into Trinity, back on the team. And 2 years later, a super senior in his 5th year of college baseball, leading the team in hitting, and a captain at the shortstop position.
Yeah, really interesting story. Not very often you see somebody leave and then come back. That's exactly what Montreza did. And I would say it's worked out pretty well. Found a lot of success. Sneakily hitting over 300 this year.
2 hits today, but set down by the new Schreiner pitcher very quickly as we're trying to give the senior a highlight. And it could be another quick out. Defense trying to help, and it does this time. 2 quick outs for Luke Rogers, the sophomore from Tualatin, Oregon. Hope I pronounced that right. Holloway giving it his best hustle down the line, but he's outnumbered 2. Rogers has been a really bright spot for this Schreiner bullpen. 5 1/3, no runs allowed in relief against Centenary last Saturday. And that is an offense we all know can cause all sorts of problems. Loops in a breaking ball to Ezra Gore to get ahead. And it's really neat to see the Schreiner roster, at least the travel roster that is here in San Antonio, almost entirely Lone Star State natives. There are just 2 guys from outside of Texas, as Gore will beat out an infield single. Third baseman had a nice play on Holloway's chopper, but couldn't quite collect Gore's. So a 2-out hit for Gore. But of all places, Oregon to end up in Kerrville, Texas.
Yeah, it's weird where the road we call life takes us, but Schreiner very happy that he found his way to Kerrville. Had a lot of success for them and having a good inning so far, despite that infield hit by Ezra Gore.
And they've ruled it an error as Hooper had his feet underneath him, got a glove on it, and then just couldn't get it in time. So that'll be 2 errors officially for Schreiner. They had 2 last night. That really cost them. Peterson back up, and he'll have to wait on a pickoff attempt to keep Gore close. Gore has only been caught twice this season, but one of those times was yesterday by Cardoza, so maybe he'll think about it a little bit longer. Or here he goes, trying to make up for yesterday, and he sure does. Ezra Gore, senior day steal.
Just makes it look really easy and in plenty of time. There was really no doubt that he was going to make it, as you're going to see here on the replay. Swing and a miss, so gets the strike, but Gore in plenty of time. No doubt about it.
Peterson lines it into the net foul. Gore now 15 out of 17 attempts. Last year he went 19 for 23, so he's rapidly approaching that mark. When Birmingham Southern was in town, they saw the number put up by Will Lantis, 40 stolen bases. And both Peterson and Gore wanted to match that. And I don't know if they're going to get quite to 40. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. And if the Tigers have their way, a lot of that will extend into May and even June. But they've done their part.
I think so.
Peterson here striking out after the Gore stolen base, so he can't drive in another run, but the Tigers so far comfortably ahead, headed to the 7th inning up 6-1. Seventh inning in San Antonio, Trinity 6, Schreiner 1. Tigers trying to build off of their 10-0 victory last night. Clinch at least a series win against their rivals from Kerrville. First pitch to Chance Goins, a ball in the turf. Goins has driven in the only Mountaineer run of the weekend. An RBI double that nearly got out of here, hit the fence out there in left center field. Put runners at second and third. Looked like Schreiner might take the lead for the first time, but Tier able to strike out a pair of hitters and keep the lead where it was at 2-1 at the moment, and now it is ballooned to 6-1, and Tier still in the game. An uppercut swing leads to a pop-up. Goins will run it out, but the Tigers underneath it. Out number 1.
As Trinity's going to try and get length out of Jackson Tier. 3-pitch out. Always a good thing when you're trying to go the distance in a game.
First pitch breaking ball misses up and away. 4-1 to Saucedo. Second baseman, one of those strikeout victims. Here chops it foul towards the Trinity bullpen. No one currently warming in that Trinity bullpen, and that pitch count very reasonable for Tier. Low 80s. We've seen him go the distance before. That no-hitter was in 7 innings, so he didn't have to go that 8th and 9th, but the way he was pitching, have no doubt he could have done that. 1-1 to Saucedo, misses away, ball 2. But it's just been a masterful year for Jackson Tier. We'll take a look at his laundry list of accomplishments because it's grown quite long, so we hope you can keep track with us. As he dots in a strike there. Even count now, 2-2. How about 2-time SCAC Pitcher of the Week, 2-time D3Baseball.com Team of the Week, so that's on a national scale. Forces a weak little grounder. Holloway makes the throw, but it'll be just a bit late. Infield single for Saucedo. Accomplishments don't end there, though. The National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association named Tier their National Pitcher of the Week after that no-hitter. He was the first pitcher from the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference to win that award since 2014. Almost 10 years since Brett Markham of Southwestern did it, and Jackson Tier did it.
Very incredible season for Jackson Tier. The impact he's had on this pitching staff cannot be overstated, as he's just plugged right in. Transfer of this semester, not only this year.
Well late on that swing was Aiden Warren. Falls behind Tier after the runner reaches on first. 2 away in the top of the 7th. Tigers up 6-1. Pettit puts his big target outside the plate, and Tier meets it there. Strikeout. And that's out number 2. Bit of a mistake there. After the infield single, there we go. Now there's 2 away. But for Tier, even if he needs to get extra outs, it doesn't seem to be a problem for him.
No, not really. Able to collect them pretty easily. And that's just kind of what he's done all year. Had the one rough start against Babson, but beyond that, remarkably consistent.
And he just makes it look so easy. There's no effort visibly exerted, even though we know it takes a ton of hard work. He just goes out there, does his job, goes right back into the dugout, waits for his offense to score a little bit, and then does it all over again. Rinse and repeat.
Well, that's one thing Coach Smith said about him early in the year. He's the same guy in the first inning as he is in the 7th inning.
He'll have to field his position at least one more time. An easy toss to Davison, and that is the 3rd out of the inning. Time to stretch in San Antonio. Tigers up 6-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, Tyler Pettit will lead things off. Tigers up 6-1 over Schreiner. Strike 1 to Pettit, who has both his parents here, Doug and Tracy Pettit. The engineer major, taking about the most difficult path you can take as a Trinity student. Then you add the fact that he is a captain, being a senior, but he's a captain as a catcher, has to know all the hitters, has to know all the pitchers. Can only begin to imagine what's in that brain of Tyler Pettit. Has to be a lot.
Yeah, the knowledge of how to commit yourself to a lot of things, similar to Cade McGahan, but engineering major, one of the more difficult majors here at Trinity. Requires a lot of time commitment. And then being a catcher, having to understand all facets of the game.
Here the 1-2 sent out to deep center field, giving it a ride. But ultimately underneath for the catch is the center fielder Warren, so Pettit will head back to the dugout after being the 1st out of the inning. Rogers certainly doing his job so far out of the bullpen, replacing the starter Brandon Cardenas.
Yeah, Tyler Pettit just under that one. That was a hanging breaking ball, normally something that you can probably do some damage with.
One out to Preston, rolled over to second base. Underhand toss to Garza. 2 quick outs.
And on the off chance that Schreiner can get back into this game, this is exactly the inning they need. 2 quick outs, as you said. Just trying to get the bats another chance. You have to hold this deficit as if Trinity gets another run. It's just further out of hand and the comeback further away from reach.
First pitch breaking ball up and away to Colt Harris. If Schreiner has any chance of making the conference tournament, they have to win out and get a whole lot of help. So they're going to need a comeback here in San Antonio. The Mountaineers have never made the SCAC tournament. A part of that is because Schreiner hasn't always been in the SCAC. Very recently moved over. Rogers falling behind 3-0. Schreiner, once upon a time, a member of the American Southwest Conference. We've become familiar with them. You know UT Dallas. You know Hardin-Simmons, Mary Hardin-Baylor. Harris draws a 4-pitch walk here. Schreiner making the transfer over from the ASC to the SCAC back in 2013. Just about a week before TLU did, they made the jump with them. And while Schreiner has never won this conference, they did win the ASC back in 2000. Looking to climb that mountain once again, sooner rather than later under head coach Ryan Brisbane. Hunter Nevels shoots it the other way. Another base hit for the base hit machine. Hunter Nevels 2 for 4. And every time he's penciled into the lineup, he has at least one.
Yeah, Hunter Nevels, a hitting machine. Just finds a way to get singles and base hits. Like during a game against Mary Hardin-Baylor here on a Tuesday, it felt like he was the only one hitting. And he just has that consistency day in and day out. You know what you're going to get from him.
Davison wasting no time, ripping it over to left field. Another RBI on the way for Austin Davison. Have yourself a senior day, sir. 7-1 Trinity in the 7th.
We talk about the 2-out RBI. That's the second one of the day. As Austin Davidson, 2-out hits. Total of 3 runs batted in. He's really shown up. Man, what a day to do it. His senior day. Finding ways to extend this Trinity lead. He's been a big part of it.
Between Davison and Montreza, 2 seniors, 4 of the 7 runs batted in. Exactly what head coach Tim Scannell would have wanted. Montreza takes the first strike, 2 for 3 already. Growing his advantage as the hit leader, batting average leader for the Trinity Tigers. And he's still got a pair on base. First and second, 2 away. Slow roller to the third baseman. Shortstop takes charge instead. The long reach. Make sure it's an out. Garza doing work over there, helping his pitcher out and leading them back to the dugout. But the Tigers add on to their advantage, now 7-1, headed to the 8th. Look who we have here. You might think, finally, the starter is out of the game. Jackson Tier has dominated us all game long. Let's see someone new. Well, you might correct that thought when you see who it is. Joseph Shavana coming in from the bullpen for the Tigers. Already up 7-1, looking to shut things down in the 8th and 9th.
Joseph Shavana, the Friday night starter, not too long ago, still has that talent and still has his arsenal that he can bring to the table. not a high leverage situation, but with the amount of pitchers that Trinity has, you've got to find a way to get Joe and Jack Martinez into the game somehow. As you would assume, it's going to be the combination of Harrison Duro and Jack Martinez for game 3 of this series.
First pitch from Shavana outside for ball 1. You got to look at those numbers. What they say to you, he's had an excellent year, and he really has. He has a 2.90 ERA, 3-4, not totally representative of what he's done because he's been a part of those Friday night games, like you said, in which he's facing the other team's best pitcher as well, low-scoring affairs. Here he induces a weak ground ball. Harris can't quite get to it, though, and it'll be...
Looked like he lost his glove for a second. We're going to try and find a replay of that. You see the ground ball.
Confused for the moment because the runner looked to peel off as if he was headed back to the dugout, but it was, there you have it. Cole Terrace had it in his glove and couldn't get out of it. So, leadoff base runner for Schreiner. Foul ball to start this next at-bat for Hooper. But it hasn't been a change to the bullpen because of anything Shavana really had done wrong. It was just, like you said, a desire to mix things up a little bit among a losing streak. And the Tigers deciding that Shavana could be an incredible weapon out of the bullpen. And he really was last year and could be again this season.
Yeah, we know Shavana can give a lot of length, but throw somebody into a high leverage situation, Joseph Shavana, definitely a guy you'd want to do that with. And also part of the reason was they didn't feel like they were using Harrison Duro enough. And allowing Harrison to start this next game. And started last weekend, as you see a replay of the Harris. Yeah, just lost the glove. A little unusual. But finding a way to use Duro more. And then Shavana able to come into these high leverage situations, which he's been accustomed to from last season.
It's a really good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
To have just too many pitchers. And have your starters go so long that you wonder if the bullpen pieces are even going to get in there. Chopper up the middle. Montreza has one over to Harris on the first double play. 6-4-3, exactly like Shavana wanted. And you erase that infield single just like that.
Always nice as a pitcher when your defense can play behind you. Montreza knows exactly what to do. Flip it over to second and over to Davidson, who gets a nice stretch to get the second out in one play. The 2-for-1 special for number 3.
Quickly ahead 0-2 is Shavana on DeCarlo. Shavana started the 2022 campaign in the bullpen, and he did so well there that then he became a starter. And so a bit of a reversal to start this season. Started as the Friday night guy, and now wanting to use his weaponry in the bullpen. But either way, Joe has always told us he doesn't prepare differently. He doesn't approach it differently. He knows he has to execute no matter when he's pitching. And what we've seen from him on Tiger Network is execute is exactly what he has done. Continues to do it in the top of the 8th here. Colt Harris finds that pop-up in fair territory. And after the double play, Shavana able to make it a 1-2-3 inning to keep the Tiger lead at 6. If the Tigers have their way, this will be the last time they come to hit in game one, up 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Luke Rogers has given up 1 run since entering from the bullpen, 2 innings of work, replacing Cardenas. .1-0 pitch to Holloway, fouled the other way. Holloway 1 for 3 with a double, and it was a hustle double that he really earned. And it's very fitting because this week in practice, they put Christian Holloway in a race against Harrison DeRoe.
Oh, they did that?
They did that.
They did it.
And guess who won? Christian Holloway. He beat him out. And so Holloway just showcasing his speed today, even though he's retired here on the foul pop-up, proving that that race wasn't a fluke.
Who else was? I heard discussions of other people being involved in the race. Was it just them?
That was the only race I saw this time.
Okay.
Harrison has not done great in races in his past.
No, that's what I've heard.
But the good thing is he focuses on pitching.
Yes.
We'll likely see that a little bit later today. For now, Tigers trying to put finishing touches on this Game 1 victory. As Rigor at the plate, 1 for 4. Looks at a breaking ball as Rigor nearly not even coming to Trinity. He wanted to play football. He was looking where to go play, so he visited Trinity, had a conversation with head coach Jeremy Urban as he lashes one into left field for a base hit. So Gore talked to Jeremy Urban, head football coach here at Trinity, and it was going well, but he had so many options. He had an opportunity to play D1 at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. He also had opportunities to walk on to play baseball at Vanderbilt, Rice, and Stanford, some of the premier institutions in this country. But when he came to Trinity, what Trinity could offer that those other schools couldn't is the opportunity to play both. So Coach Urban, on a visit, brought Ezra to Tim Scannell and said, hey, just have a conversation with him, take a look at him, see what you think. And it didn't take very long for Coach Scannell to say, yeah, we want him over here too. And so when Gore saw that the football team and the baseball team wanted him here, he said, this is the place for me. He ended up as a Trinity Tiger, and 4 years later, dominating as a football player, as a baseball player. So happy to have gotten to have Ezra Gore here as a Tiger.
No doubt about it. Such an influential player on both teams. With his teams having a decent amount of success. Tigers going to the World Series last year, and the football team, deep playoff run.
He's been a huge part of both of those efforts. And he said, when people think of Ezra Gore and they think of Trinity, what do you want to remember? And he said, I want people to remember that I bled for Trinity. I really put everything I had. You get an excellent look at him off of first base. He'll move over to second as Jack Peterson draws the 4-pitch walk. And it's really always an interesting day when it's senior day as we get an even closer look at number 4. Almost looking right at us. Hello, Ezra. Wave at the people at home. He can't hear us, of course, but I'd like to transmit the message anyway.
I don't know. We can do some telepathy. Just send the message. He might get it.
But every one of these seniors has a unique story to tell, and we feel very honored to get to tell them on Tiger Network.
Absolutely, especially a guy like Ezra Gore. Such an integral part of this team and the football team, as we are all going to miss him here.
Tyler Pettit looking to put an exclamation point on his senior day, but he pulls it just a bit foul. What's really interesting about Tyler Pettit is that you look at his numbers, and if you've tuned into Tiger Network, you would agree he's a pretty good offensive catcher, but his goal has always been to be a defensive catcher. His dad was a catcher drafted by the Marlins back in the 90s. And Tyler's saying that he grew up with this in his mind, thanks to his father, saying, you can have a good game behind the plate, and if nobody notices, you did your job. And that has always been at the top of mind for Tyler Pettit.
That's the goal. Step up defensively as a catcher, especially when someone's at third base. The role of catcher always very important. And we've seen Tyler Pettit come up time and time again with key block after key block. And that's the difference between winning and losing baseball games, whether you allow a free base or not.
Pettit has also been a massive part of the pitching turnaround. Of course, as the catcher, he's leading the staff here. A pass ball will lead to 2 runners advancing. Heads up base running from Gore and Peterson. You give them just a sliver of an opening and they'll take advantage. So even after Pettit popped up, 2 away, but Preston has a chance to drive in 2.
Yeah, I actually didn't think that was going to get far enough away from him, but I forgot who was on the bases. Ezra Gore, Jack Peterson. They see daylight, they're going to go. And that's exactly what they do, and that's exactly what we were talking about, giving away free bases. Now, Ty Preston, 2 runners in scoring position.
And there's going to be one coming around to score. Gore across home after yet another one gets behind Cardoza. 8-1 now in the 8th in favor of Trinity.
I love when the game supports what we're talking about. We talk about the importance of the catching position, and you see what happens when you let some by you.
Yeah, Tyler Pettit never really lets many by him.
Not really. You don't see it very often. In fact, it's like when Ezra Gore gets caught stealing. We're almost surprised when it happens. But Tyler Pettit, a rock from Round Rock, behind the dish for the Tigers.
Preston still an opportunity to drive in Peterson, just 90 feet away. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Close strike goes against Preston, 2-1 now the count. Preston drove in 2 with a double that got past the first baseman right down the line. Able to lay off of that one low, 3-1. Time called behind the plate. Umpire says I need a moment. Now Rogers ready to fire. Preston, 3-1 the count. Runner on third, 2 away. Preston right back to Rogers. He gets a piece of it. Preston hustling down the line, and he'll beat it. Peterson scores in the meantime, 9-1 Trinity as Preston drives in his 3rd run of the afternoon.
Yeah, a little unlucky, as that's going to get a lot of the pitcher. Shortstop unable to make the play as that just kind of fell flat in front of him. But the run will come in as Trinity working to extend their lead, and that's what Coach Scannell says that good teams do. You get up 5, you don't just put up zeros, you add on. And that's exactly what the Tigers are doing.
Ball 1 to Colt Harris, and we are officially in walk-off territory. There are 2 outs in the 8th inning, but if the Tigers score 2 more runs, it'll be another mercy rule, and we'll end it just like that. So if Harris gets a hold of one, we'll get going into game 3. Takes a strike there to even up the count at 1. Harris certainly has the power to do so. 2nd on the team behind Brandon Nelson with 4 homers.
When you think about the development of this game, 4th inning, it was 2-1. Schreiner had momentum.
Runner going, Harris up the middle. Shortstop ranges over the low throw, but an excellent pick by Garza. Gets the Mountaineers out of the inning, but not before the Tigers score 2 more. They're up 9-1, and it's time for the 9th inning in San Antonio. A very short break here on Tiger Network because we see they tried to pull a fast one on us, but not fast enough to get it past us. Another senior making an appearance on Senior Day, and with him being a pitcher from the bullpen, not sure if he'll pitch in the 2nd game, so want to make sure to highlight Jack Schmidt, who is entering the game. Jack Schmidt, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri, is about to be headed back home. He told me that he has accepted a job with Charles Schwab back in St. Louis as a financial services representative. So he is very excited to go back there over the summer. But before he does, he's been reflecting with me on his career. And I think you might remember, Cole, one of the first things I told you when you joined on Tiger Network is, of all the pitches and all the pitchers, my favorite pitch is Jack Schmidt's changeup. And it's a lot of people's favorite here at Trinity.
Yeah, Dave Smith says it's one of his favorite. He says one of the most impressive things that Jack Schmidt's ever done was they did a drill with all the pitchers. It was a 1-2 drill. So basically you face a batter and the count is 1-2 once you enter the game, and you have to strike them out or try to get the out somehow. And Jack Schmidt used his changeup, which is your favorite pitch, and I think he got 9 strikeouts in 9 times throwing that pitch. One of the most impressive things Dave Smith has ever seen, he told us.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw whatever, and he just kept throwing changeup after changeup after changeup, 9 in a row, and he got 9 consecutive swings and misses. Even when you know it's coming, it is hard to hit, and that has been the story of Jack Schmidt at Trinity. Has thrown 53 in 2/3 innings, 49 strikeouts across his 4 seasons. Gets behind Hernandez here, 2-0. Tigers up 8 in the 9th inning, looking to claim this series win before the last end of the doubleheader. Schmidt gets the corner there, 2-1 the count. Also personally got to know Jack Schmidt pretty early in our time here at Trinity. Both of us first years, and both of us very interested in sport management. And so we took one of the coolest classes you will ever hear of, Hip Hop, Innovation, and Sport. Schmidt and I in that class together with the Dr. Jacob Tingle, also Dominic Moraes, and Jeremy Boyce, who has joined the Tiger Network broadcast on the football side. We had 3 professors teaching us all about the history of hip-hop and how it connected with sport. And Jack and I were reminiscing about that and how we had to write a rap as he raps his way through a strikeout to start off the 9th. But he still has a video of him rapping his final, but he says he will never show anybody that clip.
Hold on. There's video evidence of you, Brian Yetzelson, doing a rap as your final presentation.
There sure is.
Do you remember your rap?
Of course I remember. It was Hip Hop Hurts. It was based off of the amazing song by the Lizzo, Truth Hurts. So I used her background music and filled in my own lyrics. And Jack Schmidt used Middle Child by J. Cole to write his rap. So somewhere out there, deep in the depths of the world, Jack Schmidt and Brian Yetzelson have videos of themselves rapping.
Wow.
But I don't know where they are. Actually, I do know where mine is, but I'm not going to say.
You're never going to say?
Never.
Okay. That's going to be one of the bucket list things for me, finding that.
I don't know that you will. And I don't know that we'll find Jack's, but just an example of how amazing the student-athlete process is here at Trinity. These players that you become used to on Tiger Network, most of their time is actually spent in the classroom, believe it or not. Jack, no exception to that. Loses the batter here with ball 4, so after the strikeout, a walk. Garza will take his gear off and mosey on over to first. Tigers need 2 more outs, and Schmidt will try to get them. Schmidt, when talking about what he would miss most about Trinity, specifying that school-wise, he would miss the professors and the students that he was able to build connections with. And then on the baseball side, saying not only the relationships with his class and some of the people that have gone, but something he's really taken to is becoming a mentor to some of the younger guys who he now feels are not younger. They're just other pitchers on the team. And it's something we've really gotten to see about this whole pitching staff is they really want to help one another succeed.
Yeah, this pitching staff more together than most. It's just a whole new culture coming into this season of work and support. And it's led to the drastic change in the ERA. And this pitching, one of the reasons why Trinity's in the position they're in a position to clinch a spot in the conference tournament.
Schmidt's last 2 outings have been really solid. 2 innings against Concordia and 2 innings against UT Dallas. Here, forces a foul ball, still ahead in the count 1-2 on Goins. Across those 4 innings, only giving up 3 runs. 2 of those came against UT Dallas. Actually, all 3 of those came against UT Dallas. Those are some explosive offenses, the Comets and the Tornadoes. Schmidt here can't get the slider over. 2-2 the count. Reaching the 3 o'clock hour here at Trinity. First pitch at 1 p.m. Tigers just 2 outs away from a series win against Schreiner. The 2-2 from Schmidt. There's the changeup we know and love. Strikeout for Jack Schmidt. 2 outs, 2 Ks.
Well, you had a feeling it was coming with the 2-strike situation after not throwing it on the previous pitch. And you just see how deadly it is. In on the batter, no chance at doing anything with it. Can't even touch it.
Saucedo, the last hope for Schreiner. He takes ball 1 outside. He is 1 for 3 on the day, 1 of 7 Schreiner hits, but they have just not been able to get him through when it mattered most. 6 left on base, including that big situation earlier in the game. Saucedo over to third, the Holloway throw, and that's out number 27. Jack Schmidt, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri, clinches the win for the Tigers. Schmidt saying he wants to be remembered as an overall good guy and someone who was always fun to be around. Well, we'll remember you for your changeup and your great efforts on the mound as well. Jack Schmidt closes it for the Tigers, a 9-1 win over Schreiner. But we're not done yet. The senior day continues. After about a 30 to 45-minute break, Game 2 will be on tap right here on Tiger Network. For Cole Isaacson, I'm Brian Jenselson, and we'll be right back with you to see if the Tigers can sweep away Schreiner.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these 2 vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.